Hello there from Sherry Forsyth, Peak Performance Coach. I'm continuing on my series on health-related issues by talking today about headaches. Headaches that are they get a lot of bad press. They can be incredibly debilitating. Everyone kind of passes them off as not particularly important. And they can really affect the way you live your life. So today I am speaking from personal experience. I have, as a result of the stress that resulted from the loss of our younger daughter Kerry, for 12 years I had really severe stress, and the last 6 years I have had a headache every single day, bar maybe 5 days in the whole of that time. So every single day I know that at some stage my body is going to manifest a headache. What do I do about it? I take pills because I need to be up and around, whether I'm working or whether I'm with my friends. I try and just carry on despite the fact that I have a headache, and medication helps me to do that. I'll speak a little bit later about other remedies that I do use. So generally, when you go either to medical practitioner, sometimes even if you are with friends and family, when you mention headaches, people are very, very dismissive. And I can only think that maybe it's because they are not life-threatening usually. So many people, when they do suffer from headaches, like as we've spoken about some of the autoimmune diseases where you don't look sick, but in fact you are, many people who suffer from headaches eventually don't tell anyone they're suffering from headaches, because the response that they get is very often not compassionate. It's kind of, oh, well, get over it, get over yourself, go and take a pill and lie down in a darkened room. It's not particularly supportive. And so people who suffer from chronic headaches, you will usually find that they don't mention it until it becomes maybe really bad. The second thing is that very often you can tell just by looking at someone's face if they are suffering from a headache, in that the area around their eyes, their sinuses, often above their eyes, can look puffy. So if you know someone well, you'll be able to pick up whether they have a headache or not. So what I want to have a look at is the possible causes of headaches. And I think that is one of the reasons why many of the medical fraternity don't really know what the cause is, because there are millions of causes of headaches. And so to start trying to work out what is the cause of one's headaches is really time consuming. It can be very expensive. And so I'm just going to toss out a few ideas about the possible causes of headaches. And I'd love you, if you are joining this live or not live, if you're listening to this later, to add into the comment box any additional causes that I haven't mentioned, because I'm sure there'll be many that I overlook. But just off the top of my head, the causes of headaches can be anything from stress, from muscular spasm that can cause either tension headaches, or it can cause migraines, depending on where the spasm is in your head and in your muscles. Headaches can be as a result of a side effect of medication, other medication you're on. Headaches can go with many illnesses, whether we're talking about an everyday cold, maybe flu, maybe tonsillitis, maybe measles. There are lots of illnesses where a headache is one of the symptoms that you are experiencing. Not the major symptoms, but one of them. Lots of viral conditions have headaches. We can also get headaches because of the way we are suppressing emotion. So at a later stage, I'm going to do a talk on the whole mind, body, soul connection, the neurochemical connection between the three. But I think just suffice at the moment to say that our emotions can very definitely cause the onset of headaches. So particularly if we are angry, if we are suppressing anxiety, possibly suppressing depression, and suppressing the working through of a trauma, just to mention a few. So our emotional life can cause headaches. We can have a physical illness, a physical injury, like, for example, a concussion, that can cause immediate headaches and long-term headaches as well. What else can cause headaches? What we eat. We might be allergic or intolerant to some of the foods we're eating. The minute we cut those foods out of our diet, our headaches disappear. Well, anyway, that's a few causes of headaches to go on. And as I say, I welcome you to add in the comments box additional causes for headaches. So let's have a look at a few of the possible messages that your body is giving you when you have a headache. What is your body actually trying to tell you? And it's not only through headaches that our bodies speak to us. It's through a myriad of ailments. But if it's a chronic ailment, usually your body is trying to tell you something. So is it that you haven't worked through a traumatic issue, that you've just suppressed it? Is your headache telling you that you are really angry in a deep-rooted level? You're really angry about something and you haven't dealt with it? Are your headaches telling you that you are overdoing it? Whether we're looking at overdoing it from the work perspective, whether you're trying to burn the candle at both ends and you're working too hard as well as playing too hard. Could your body be saying, I'm dehydrated, I need some water? So your body could be telling you physical things or emotional things about the way you're living your life. And I'm encouraging you to stop, take the time to think about what possibly could my body be wanting to say to me. So from a personal level, my body is saying to me, you've overdone it for too long. From a work perspective, maybe an exercise perspective, maybe a social perspective, you've tried to put too much into your life, and the result is that you're never resting. So finally, after 6 years, it does take me a while, but finally I've heard that message and putting in the lifestyle changes that are necessary. But what are your headaches telling you? So I challenge you to, at the conclusion of this video, just to take a few minutes to sit and try and work out, what is my headache trying to tell me? Do I feel that it's a tight band around my head? So I'm feeling restricted in my job, restricted in movement, restricted in my lifestyle. It could just be that it's if it's not a chronic headache, it may just be a symptom of another illness, and then it's just treated symptomatically. I'm talking more to the people who are experiencing headaches in the more chronic form. Okay, so first thing, what is my headache trying to tell me to do? What am I doing in my lifestyle, in my way of living, that is not right? And then I've got to obviously bring in those changes. I'd also like to speak very briefly about possible modalities, allopathic and complementary, that one can use that might just do the trick of reducing your headaches. Once again, this is not an exhaustive list. I'm just speaking off the top of my head. If you have found something to be really beneficial, I would love it if you would join the conversation, add into my comment box below on Facebook, send me emails or make comments on my website, which is www.sherryforsythcoaching.com, and let's get this conversation started. So the things that can be really beneficial to do is initially to use the allopathic treatments that are available to us. In other words, go and have an MRI scan to rule out all the sinister things. And then there are various painkillers that one can take that are stomach friendly, that are maybe not having too much caffeine, etc., etc. So be very selective about what painkillers that you use, particularly if they are migraine headaches. So definitely there is a place for allopathic treatment of headaches. But I want to look at the more complementary or more gentle things that you can use as well. So a simple thing like an imbalance of magnesium, when it's rectified, can sometimes let your headache go. So magnesium and riboflavin are two that are known to maybe play a role in the relief of headaches. Dehydration is a huge thing, so make sure that you are properly hydrated, and the way to make sure you're properly hydrated is not drink huge amounts of water twice a day, but actually to sip water gently as you go through the day, then it'll be properly absorbed. You can have a look at modalities like homeopathy, because they will treat the physical and the emotional symptoms, which is very successful. You can look at things like reflexology, like craniosacral therapy, which is to do with the alignment of the spine. You can look at chiropractors, physiotherapists, acupuncture. You can look at food intolerances. So there are tests that you can do that can test just about every single food known to man. That might be worth it to have a look and see that maybe it is that preservative or some minor thing. My husband actually was found to be intolerant of garlic. So it might be something as little as that can make a difference to the fact that your body can't tolerate it and therefore manifests a headache. So what other treatments can you think of? I'm going to carry on with the list. Meditation is very helpful because it calms down your thoughts. So that allows the stress levels to decrease, which obviously has an impact on headaches as well. Mindful living can help. Taking some time out for yourself, not being on the hop all the time, can be very effective. And that's about all that comes to mind at the moment. But as I say, I welcome any ideas that you might have. I would also like to mention that some people are in the double-edged sword of running their own businesses. And when they are really battling with headaches, it's difficult because there's no one to pick up the slack from them. They are the business if you're in a small business. So very often those are the people that push themselves harder because there is no backup. I'd also like to just mention about people who are, for you yourself, if you are suffering from headaches, one of the things I really would encourage you to do is to nurture yourself. Give yourself some time. Give yourself time out. Slow down. Cut back a little bit on the workload. Spend time looking at the birds. Being able to sit and enjoy the lovely warm sun on a winter's day. Slow down your life because the pace of our living is very, very quick. So nurture yourself is really important. And then a message for people who live with people who have headaches. So in other words, a close family member or a friend has a headache, if it is of the chronic sort. And I appeal to you to be a little bit more compassionate than maybe you were previously, because living with headaches can be very, very, very debilitating indeed. And if you can be a little bit more compassionate, the person suffering from the headache will be very grateful. So, as I say, for the people who are supporting those with headaches, try not to be dismissive and pretend that it's just another little thing. Speaking from my experience of having headaches, as I say, every day for 6 years now, can be very debilitating, at times worse than others. And particularly if you are on holiday or you're having a bit of downtime and you have a really bad headache, not only are you feeling grim and possibly nauseous and possibly have light sensitivity, but also you are missing out on the fun that everybody else is able to have. And you don't want to be a kind of pathetic little victim sort of saying, oh, I've got a headache again. So generally we don't say much unless the headaches are particularly bad, but they can be very debilitating. So I am going to challenge you, if you yourself are suffering from headaches, nurture yourself. And if you know people that suffer from chronic headaches, I challenge you to be just that little bit more understanding. Maybe even ask them a question about, well, how often do you get headaches? How bad are they? What does it stop you from doing? And let's start a conversation about the very overlooked symptom of having chronic headaches. And I'm going to finish with watch this space, because I am in the next week or two, hopefully, going to try a very new treatment for headaches if they are spasm related. And my headaches are spasms in my face, particularly my jaw, the muscles of my head, my neck, and my back. And I have an appointment with a neurologist who is going to inject my face and my head and my neck with, wait for it, Botox. So it's not only used to make you more beautiful, it can now have a medicinal effect of assisting people with chronic headaches, in that they relax the muscle so that the spasm goes away. And speaking to a woman last week about it, she used to suffer from migraines every single day. And she has now had a series of three sets of injections of Botox. She is now headache-free, pain-free, and medication-free. So I ask you to watch this space. And certainly if I'm looking a few years younger, when we have our next series of these Facebook Live videos dealing with health, it will be the side effect of having some Botox done. And I will certainly keep you updated to let you know how effective that has been. So I leave you with wishes to have a nurturing week lying ahead, nurturing of yourself and nurturing of others. And I encourage you to start this conversation on what has worked for you, what possibly has caused headaches, and let's see if we can help people through this little video. As always, thank you for joining me, and I will be speaking next week to a homeopath about how she looks after her patients.